Hello, everybody. This is Jack, and thanks for joining today's training. So, today's training is about SEO. It's about getting results from your website. It's about getting to know the most elements from the most important elements from a website, which helps you to rank that website in Google so you get free traffic from Google. So the first question I like you to answer in the chat is, what are, in your opinion, the most important elements, most important factors, the most important things that you can do with your website, so on-site SEO, to rank in Google? And I have been asking that question, I saw every year or so, I think, we go over those questions. And the most typical answer I get is keywords, meta tags, page title, schema, and all those things what you learned 10 years ago. But Google is and is not changed. It just has become more advanced. So Google core business, when they started out, they became commercial, I agree. But Google core business is providing value on the internet. And they like you to show the most likable website links when you're entering keywords. But here's the thing we need to understand. How does Google measure when somebody likes a website? When they enter the keyword in Google search, they click on a link, and how does Google measure that? And the simple thing to understand is that the average time on a website, how longer they stay on a website, the more they like the website, how more they read about the content, maybe they watch a video and all those kind of things, they click on the website. So knowing that you want to make sure that the website visitor likes the website, we want to understand which elements contribute to that, where you have to pay attention to it. So, of course, keyword is important. Of course, page title is important and schema is important, but those are relative small factors. If you only want to do one thing, focus on it, that is providing value. Make sure that they stay long on the website. If you can achieve that, then Google will show your website for the keywords they used when they found your website. And it used to be, so that's kind of the case while you were thinking on keywords. It used to be that Google had a hard time to understand the website, but nowadays they crawl your website, they read the video, they summarize it, and come up with their own keywords. They show that website based on their findings to people who search for a plumber, for example. So it's very important that you make that switch in your head. So keyword is important, meta tags is important, page title is important, schema is important, but those are small elements. You need to do that, no question about that. You need to do that. But it's not the holy grail. The holy grail is the website itself, that they like the website, that they can find the content, that they click through your website and are happy with it. And of course, take action. Because you didn't make that website for yourself and to please somebody. You created a website with a goal in mind, with an action in mind, that they call a number, they fill out a form or whatever, or sign up for anything what you want to sign up for. So here are 7 elements you really want to understand, and basically you do now if you understand my introduction. So skyrocket your site in Google rankings. So first and foremost, and I think Gary's already said it, align content with user intent and expectation. For example, I will do not alignment. So you create a website about plumber, but you enter the keywords for roofer. So they land on a website, they see a nice website for a plumber, but the keywords are roofer, so they don't stay on your website. So if they are looking for a roofer and they land on your website and your website is about plumber, that doesn't work. So this is a black and white example, but you got the point. So the content needs to be aligned with the search intent. So ensure your page matches what searchers are looking for. Use clear benefit-driven headlines, subheadings, and intros that promise and deliver value right away. Not too much text and other things. People don't like to read, especially not from first second. They need to have a clear overview what your website is about with a nice engaging headline geared to the need what they're looking for. The next thing, and you know that, but we might not pay enough attention to it. It's the speed optimization. Your website, if somebody looks for a plumber, and your website is very nice about plumbing and plumber company, but it loads so slow. And the website visitor will not appreciate it. Thinks your business is sluggish, a slow service, and not modern and outdated. Well, it can't just be the website type. Maybe you created a WordPress and didn't use a cache plugin. Maybe you didn't created an HTML in Rapify and it just the way it is built. So it doesn't need the website itself doesn't need to really to represent the company if you have a slow website that the service is slow, but it gives that impression because what most website visitors are first-time visitors. They look for a plumber, they have it in their phone, they're looking for options, they land on your website and they compare plumbers. And if your website is outdated, slow loading, not relevant, you think they are not modern, will not still be in business. If they don't spend time and money on a website, why would they spend time on a business? That is in the website visitor mind. Even it doesn't need to be the case. Because the honest answer is if a plumber hires you and you create a website with Rapify, you can fix that impression in a week. And all of a sudden, this website visitor thinks, wow, this is a modern company. This website loads fast. That is just the information I was looking for. So it doesn't need to be, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe I just bought a book. I do that rarely, I have to say, but I just bought a book. And the book has a nice cover. But if it had a not nice cover, I would probably not so invited to read. The cover builds on the impression about the content of the book, even if it doesn't need to be. But it's just pay attention to it. So slow loading pages are a top cause of bounces and a user expects site to load under 3 seconds. Actually, 3 seconds is slow. 3 seconds? 1, 2, 3. If you do 1, 2, 3, you see the website building up. It is okay. But actually, you want to be in 1 second, correct? What? We want to have it almost immediately. If you did 3 seconds, you wonder, is my internet good? At an airport, everything slow loading. No, maybe you can accept it, but it's not a nice experience. Here's the thing you all know, but might not use it all the time. You need to ask for the action. If you don't ask for the action, you're not likely get the action you want it to be. So you have a nice website, nice content, nice headline, fast loading, but you need to ask them to call. You need to ask them to subscribe. You need to ask them to sign up. You need to guide them, like I do often with step 1, step 2, step 3, or symbolic them. If you explain an application, you want to represent with a schematic how easy the setup is. Guide visit to the next step with a clear, prominent call to action. Read more, sign up, watch video, and place early and to the page. So put that call to action throughout the page and throughout the website. But that is basically it. You cannot assume that they go to the inner page and they have to go back to the home page to sign up or to call you or to send you an email. It has to be on every page and basically on every screen. So when you have a long page, it needs to be on multiple places on every page. The call to action, ask them, invite them, make it easy for them. This of course click to other pages, reducing bounce while boosting conversion. But don't overwhelming them. You don't want to become your site cluttered. Doesn't mean that more content is better. Actually, almost less content is better. We use white space. White space has a function. This reminds me on I followed a technical school and we had a kind of funny teacher and he had the saying circle is empty, but because it is empty and is round, it has a function, namely a circle. I don't know if you guys get the joke, but even if there is in a circle nothing, it has function because the whole nothing is a circle. So I'm not sure if I translated well, but white space has a function. So it helps the interface. So use white space strategically so that they see the call to action, that they see the headline. And I use often, when I use long sentences, I go to an AI tool and I just ask simplify the sentence. And of course, it still has to have the same meaning. But once you do simplify or shorten, it says it with lesser words. Now we go to another level of SEO is internal linking. Internal linking give you the opportunity. What is the two big benefits from internal linking? Probably Gary and Arlene knows. When you do internal linking, you automatically help with bounce rate. And bounce rate better, it's Google likes more your website. But there is another benefit from internal linking. Internal linking means you can create a landing page about a certain topic, about a certain product, about a certain service, about a certain keyword. And all of a sudden, your website with internal pages is not only ranking for one keyword or for one page, it is likely ranking also for the inner pages because you can SEO optimize them. In those internal pages, it is a little bit more give you, they already said, I like your website, to optimize the text for local intent keywords. Do I say now something strange? What is local intent keyword? Is plumber city, near me, close, huh? Distance, local intent. And if you don't know what local intent is, then you just use any the main keyword and ask any AI tool create 10 local create I would say create the top 5 local intent keywords from keywords. You know, so all AI tool, you don't not really need to be smart in sense that you have to remember a lot. You just have to use them. I guarantee, I have it posted on Facebook and I say it again. You're not getting beat by AI. You're getting beat by the person who used the AI tool. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So if you keep doing what you do, you will be okay at a certain point that somebody use AI tools, get familiar with them, and then do things much quicker, much faster, much better. So try to use ChatGPT or Meta, Gemini, Grok, and just speak to them as like it is your partner. That's how I use it. At a certain point, you find things out that really works and make your work much easier. Okay. Clean into menu and sidebar recommendations can turn single page. We almost forgot this. Huh? Half of the searches nowadays are with mobile. So you can create a nice website, but if it is not mobile responsive, you lose kind of the website visitor. If it's not mobile responsive, they're not finding the information they're looking for. They're not liking the website and they're clicking away. So optimizing for mobile is not an option anymore. It is a necessity. You might remember that you had to have two websites. One was for desktop and a redirect to mobile. And I say never, but I didn't believe in that, the redirect. I have used it, to be honest, but I never promoted those kind of tools because I always thought that the website needs to be itself mobile responsive. And those browser went better, those phones went better, and nowadays it is all in one. You can code it all so that it looks good on a desktop as well as look good on a mobile. You still have apps. Actually, I create a lot of apps, but those are dedicated apps. Those are not websites. Those are applications. Then it makes sense to use mobile app. I have many mobile apps, actually, too many, I think, and I only use maybe 10 or 20. But website needs to be work on a desktop as well as on mobile. And here comes the thing, well, back to that white space. You want to minimize disruption. Who likes of your guys squeeze pages and what do you call what is that in that word? Exit pages, huh? In internet marketing, in Warrior Plus and JVZoo, we are familiar with it and we kind of deal with it. But a normal visitor find it strange, annoying is actually the better word. They think I get hooked in it. Huh? Do I need this? I want to just exit. And then you increase boundaries and all kind of things. So what you want to do is help the user, for example, to contact you. And that is actually those chatbots, they work. And Freakers ask questions. So you want to make easier for the website visitor that they can find the information or can ask the information easily. And everything needs to be quick. When they send a form, an email, they expect an answer within an hour. And some people want an instant answer, so they want you to text. And that is why you need that Connectbox widget where they can choose, can I text them, can I call them, can I email them, can I book a meeting with them? You let them open because you don't want to miss an opportunity to collect that lead and serve that lead and convert them to a paying customer. There's one other thing we all know, but not sure if we realize it. A website for a good impression needs to be secure. If it doesn't show secure, then especially if your website is important, represent your business or represent your client business, it hurts the trust and will reduce conversion for sure. Now you're wondering, Jack, why did you tell us today? What is new? And you're right, there is something new. So over the years, we have collected your feedback and we have always tried to improve and improve. But today I'm going to share a new landing page, a new website, what has all those elements we just learned and better. Okay, one thing before we jump to it is enable Google Analytics and monitor which keywords they land on the page, what is the referred website, what are the bounce rate, what is the average time, some key metrics, and then look them up once in a while. Don't need to do daily, we don't need to do weekly, but monthly would be good. And then you can see what is not working and deal with it. It's even good if you get paid for SEO and you keep that as a metric. So the client is complaining, hey, you had 100 visitors last month, now you have 200 visitors. Huh? You can show progress. And if it doesn't show progress, you have to work a little bit on it. You have to try to verify, is the bounce rate high? Don't it like spaces? Is your headline good? Is your call to action good? Huh? You know, do on-site everything good, but off-site not. You need more citations. Make sense? So SEO is still a profession. Wolfie guys more or less thinks I'm okay. I'm reasonable good in SEO. I understand SEO. If a client asks me to do SEO, I can do it. No, but you just learn today. Here's the thing. Here's my saying. If you understand today's training, you know 90% out there from all the digital marks. They always think keywords. They always think meta. They always think schema. But they skip the most important element is average time, the bounce rate. If you focus on that, you will do fine. Okay, analytics, we discussed it. So enable that on your site and track it once a month. And now it is time to show you what we were working on for a long time. I will show you first result. Are you ready? Here's the website with the new banner, modern looking. You know what the main services, of course, is from plumbing, but we have 200 managers. Everywhere call to action, nice looking. Why choose us? Call, happy testimonials, and some navigation. This website is nice looking, fast loading, easy to read. The only thing you can, if you want, is add a video. So, it's not included in the Rapify, you just have to add it. And you can easily add it. Form, what you guys think? Inner pages, service for SEO. That is all about SEO. And the homepage does the work. What you guys think? That is, what about Freakers Ask Scratch? Yeah, Freakers Ask Scratch can also get added. That's actually a good point. We haven't done it yet. What you could do is on the services or on about us, Freakers Ask Question. I will show you how to add them, Kim. And then Freakers Ask Question is typically about the business, so that's why we don't do default. This is Rapify. This is based on Rapify. Okay, so by now I'm logged out. So this is also new that it is. So what I did, let me show me what I did. I did plumber, and then roofer. Shall we do another side, roofer? I can just select a niche, or I can come up with a new niche. That for this, if I do a new niche, the content will get created by AI. If I do an existing niche, the content is already created. Okay. This is the new template. So we have now 4 templates, but I really like the latest one. So this template, this gets filled with roofer content. Next, you can do any color. I don't know if you have a preference. I always like this one. Okay. And then you can select the domain name if you want and update the confirmation, but you can also do it later. And then you click on create website. And now that template get created for the niche. And I don't know, we are at 275 niches we have, plus if you don't select an existing niche, it will create the site, it create the content and the images via AI. So basically you can say it is unlimited. It works for any niche you can work with. But you select the template, you enter the niche, you select the template, you select the color, you can select the domain name right away, or you can add it later on. And then does all the work. You see updating address and all those things. Now do all the work, and it takes a couple of minutes to create that site. I will show you in a second. This site will be shows roofer. So you will see the site is about roofer. So with Rapify, go back to I don't know, maybe this is now loading. You see, it's pretty fast, I have to say. Roofer, banner, you see, roof repair, commercial, residential, and all those elements. Why choose us? Call to action, happy clients. It's all geared to roofer. So this is complete. There's no plumbing anymore. Only the template is kind of the same. And the template is beautiful. You can choose about 4 templates. I like the latest one, I have to say, but you can choose any template, 4 templates, and you can choose any color to match your style. You can exchange any image You can change any text. You can just update the phone number just by site settings. And you see here the company information. So that is the phone number. And let's say I want to change to the real phone number for my company. And I just replace. And on all the places where that phone number was listed, it will get updated. So that is the interface to update the basic information. Yeah, see here 9999. Okay, you go to reload again. Okay, 99999. So you can change out all the info you want. Still, you see, it has some issues. See, when you change the phone number, still has some issues. Oh, I know, because that Google Map doesn't exist with that phone number, so he has a problem with it. So it needs to be a real information. Agency website the same. So let me do create AI and do, I don't know, digital. See, digital marketing or SEO or SEO or call portal, local citation. So it has also the digital marketing website. Jack, I'm building a site for a business with Rapify auto pull the business Google reviews. It has that function. Yes. You need to add the business. It does. You need to, let's see, have to think a little bit where it is, but it does. Let me ask here. Import Google reviews. Send. Click here. How to add Google Business Profile reviews. I encourage you to use that chat, and then you get a Google Doc, and here it shows how to do it. Those are tips you do one time and you don't remember anything. So you want to find the Google reviews. You should also here under support and documents, and then probably if I search a review, I would have found the same. But I'm getting lazy, and I always use AI chat. When you get used to it, this even my sites and here, when you're here and you have questions, you can also ask questions here. But on many places, you see those, if you don't know what schema is, you want to learn it, you click on the Google Doc icon. And the reason why we do Google Doc and not so many videos is because it is always improving. It's too much work, videos. Video now is in 3 months is outdated. While in Google Doc, we just have to update a screenshot or a section. Okay, let me do another site. Give me an example from a site. Give me just an example. Now, when you do with AI, those images are not as good as real images from a client. Orthodontics, this. Okay. I can select another review, but I like this one. Next, probably blue. Which color you like, Walter? Blue, green. Which color you prefer? Blue, green, orange. Number 14. Thank you. That is pretty clear. Next. Now you can select the main or do later and fill out the information from the orthodontics. Great website. So this takes time, 2-3 minutes. It's not instant. A lot of things need to happen. You just leave the browser open, huh? Zip from your coffee. You don't sweat. No need to sweat. Get handled by Rapify. Now this is relative easy. When you did a niche what doesn't exist, then it has to go to ChatGPT for the content. It has to go other places for the images. It has to put everything together. So that takes some more time. That takes, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. But it is unique, huh? But the images are really much better than a year ago. It's incredible. And also, as expected, the progress of images and image to videos is really good. But not always 100%. It can be that you need to ask your client for a better image. But from the day one to get started, it is really good. So I always say if you have a $5,000 client, you can pay also designer. If they only pay 500, then you just use what the AI creates for you. And if they have comment, you ask them to provide the image or you charge extra. So it's now updating the address. Now, what I wanted to say, I emphasize is all those elements. Let's go over them. Content needs to be according what they are search for. All this content is optimized for search intent for likely 8% likely that they find the content what they're looking for on the home page or on the page they land for. Optimized speed likely and likely the Rapify website are HTML built so they load fast. So that's 100% good. There's no better website builder code than Rapify because it is pure HTML. So WordPress is fine if it is cached, but it works with the database. WordPress has a lot of plugins, very flexible. If you use WordPress for years and you love it, you probably stick with it. But if you are open to learn the next big thing, then it's easy to use, fast loading, nice looking. Make sure call to action. So the new website is all kind of over the place call to action. Internal linking. So make sure that you have linking, especially in the footer and in the top menu, that they can link. Yeah, linking, improve bounce rate, optimize for keywords for SEO. Make sure that the website is mobile responsive. Now, Rapify websites are all mobile responsive. Minimize eruption and add helpful features. So make sure you don't have this ignoring exit pop-ups and put in connectable widget on it. And then I will show you how to do it. Stats with Google Analytics. This is just one click. Okay, or Envision or Autochromatic. Why choose us? A nice image. Google experience. Happy clients. When you show this to your client, he probably likes it and might have some small improvements, maybe about us, maybe the inner page. I need to click here and you update the about us part. I think that is a navigation. It's not really a navigation, it's just a menu link on the, I have to click on the left. What do you think, Walter? Can update special. It's a great start, yeah. An orthodontist, I had them as client as well. They pay good money. So you probably want to put a little bit more effort in it. That the images probably have their own images, and that they really like to show their own face. They have all kind of. So you want to show the certificates as well. So orthodontist is a really good niche. So dentist, orthodontist, all those medical niches are good. They feel it's much easier to edit content and ask for feedback than to come up something by yourself. So that is new in Rapify. It's part of Rapify 20X. I will run a weekend promotion, of course. If you need any help with the Rapify website, support, where is support? You can book a meeting and we will help you. So whatever you need is, whatever your experience is, we will support you. Okay. Meeting conducted via Zoom. So you get reminders about the meeting is, and then you just do the meeting with Zoom. Okay. If I didn't answer your question, feel free to send me a support ticket, and I'm happy to help you. And I really thank you guys for your time, and see you next week at the same day, same time. Thank you so much. Thank Walter. Thank Aline. Thank Leon. Thanks Kim. Thank Girish. Thank everybody.